Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Self-love through freedom and connection. So feel free to connect to the Brave Never Fall on these social media platforms. If you find anything of value in this following podcast, hit that like button, subscribe and share, and support the Brave and Bold tribe, growing one purposeful soul at a time. There are no coincidences in life. The strength you have is real. Each breath you take is a blessing. Don't give up, give more. Believe in yourself and trust yourself. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling balanced? Are you still journeying on an intentional, purposeful path? How are you feeling? Balancing yourself is a healthy daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Clear your mind. Take a moment of silence for yourself right now in the moment. You are here now. How are you feeling? Our thoughts of the genesis of creation. There's creation in the real world, quote unquote, the real world, meaning everything that's exterior from our lives, the things that we have absolutely no control over, the things that we have to deal with every single day, and we have to adapt and evolve and ascend and augment around. Almost like we're in a simulation. But we're not in a simulation. This is real. Even if it is a simulation, to us it feels real, so it is real. But if we can look around and see other people creating things that they desire and they want in their lives, and we can even see things like animals creating their perfect day of finding the food to sustain their lives, and we can see growth in things that we build and around us in buildings and cities. We're growing. Everything around us is growing, even if we're standing still. So why not be proactive and start creating what we really want for ourselves? And not doing it passively, but doing it aggressively in a positive way. We're not leaning back. We're not waiting. We're taking action. We're answering the call to what we want. We're the one ringing the bell. We're the one getting our own attention, gaining our own attention towards things that we desire. How can we get these things if we don't create them? Put ourselves in a position to take advantage of opportunities when they will inevitably arise. The question is, are you prepared? Are we prepared? No one wants to be the weakest link in a chain. No one wants to be the weak link. No one wants to be that. And those chains are in your brain. They start there. You can't have weak links in those mindsets. We have to be stronger than that. As humans, we are wired to naturally want what we want. We see someone, someplace, or something and desire it. Then reality sets in. And suddenly that desire is turned into a very assertive, truthful actualization of your current reality. The question is formed: how do I get what I'm aligned with? Desire is the infatuation stage of actualization, where alignment is the commitment stage of the truth of that reality. Desire will only get us so close to what we want. Alignment is the course correction. Actualization is the relationship cultivated from a union of purpose and discipline. To make our wants and needs a reality, we have to create it ourselves. Creation is a choice. To choose to focus on growth and change. To commitment to actualizing your wants and needs by converting desire into reality. Choosing to be disciplined about who you really are and committing fully to doing the work required to put yourself in the best position possible for success without chaos. That commitment is the genesis of creation. Answering the call to who you are, creating the blueprints of your life that are built upon healthy, positive, purposeful boundaries and principles. Suddenly, the impossible starts to look extremely attainable, and the possible becomes fuel to achieve what you believed would never be in the cards for you or your loved ones. That actualization then augments us to a leadership position in our lives. We serve others with empathy, encouraging and inspiring them to create their own blueprints of life and actualize their wants and needs. To not focus on desire, but embrace alignment and surrender to purpose. We are here now, and now it's time to actualize. Cincinnatus, Episode 8, Actualization. What is creation? How do we create it? Why should we create it? When do we do it? There's a lot of questions that come into play when it comes to creating something that is a part of our lives or not yet there yet. And that's the biggest part, is sometimes that actualization can be thwarted by your own blockage, your own blinders that you put on. We all do this. Something seems attainable, but when you start putting pencil to paper, you start realizing the obstacles that are really there that you didn't see before. And when those obstacles start to come into play, you either accept the challenge and start moving towards it, or you cower from them and you start moving backwards. The path forward in any truth is bravery. Bravery is needed in order to accept the truth and to accept the journey, no matter how difficult it is. Creation is not easy. That beginning, that newness, that feeling of infatuation that we have when we meet someone new, that's always a part of a new idea. I mean, it happens every year around the world when people say it's January 1st. New year, new start. And there's some excitement there. The infatuation of having, quote unquote, a clean slate. When in reality, there is no clean slate. It's a continuation from where you were the day before. December 31st is no different than January 1st. The only difference is the mindset behind the intention to change. What is the point of setting a goal that is not mapped out properly and then being upset with the results when you get them? There are always going to be obstacles in your way with any goal. Anything you write down when you go to pen and paper to plan out a goal, there's always going to be an obstacle there that you couldn't foresee even if you wanted to. And that's part of the challenge. Having dreams and aspirations are all part of a journey, but they are a part. Another part of it is actually making these things come true and accepting them for whatever outcomes you get. Because even if you cross off all the boxes on that journey, you put pen to paper and you figure out exactly what you want to do. And like I said before, when those inevitable obstacles pop up and when the quote unquote chaos starts erupting around you and you have to course correct, pen and paper has to come back out, make some adjustments. And by the time you get to the destination, you say, wow, I actually completed this. It's most likely not going to be anything like what you envisioned it to be. Yet the goal was completed. Now, how does that work? It works because you are going to be always led in a direction that feels genuine. And that course correction feels genuine. And had someone told you at point C on the journey, this course correction is going to be made, at that point in time, it may have given you anxiety. If someone told you at this point, something's going to happen that's going to turn things around in a negative way for a moment in time. And if someone told you you're going to get over it, but that moment's going to happen, then it's in your head. You start thinking, well, shit, I got to deal with this problem right in the middle of this thing. I'm going to get what I want, but I got to deal with this problem. Am I strong enough to get through that? This person tell me that I can do it, but am I strong enough? And we do this every day about all kinds of stuff that we really want, but we don't do it at all about things that we don't want. We'll wake up, put our clothes on, go to work, go to mass, go to lunch, go to dinner, hang out with our friends. Make sure we're there for the Netflix film. We're there for the new Disney Plus show. Right on time, right on schedule. We seem to do those things without fail. Without even any consequence. It's just something that we just do. We're not even thinking about it. We're like mindless zombies when it comes to things like that. But when we really, really, really need something that is essential in our lives, too often, and we all can say we have done this, we self-sabotage that moment. Because something that we can't see, something we can't predict, something that is frightening us is getting in our way. And we fail to answer the call. We fail to act. We fail to ascend and augment. We fail to be brave enough and bold enough to take that first step towards something that is already saying to you, challenge ahead. And instead of saying challenge accepted, we're saying challenge rejected. And we do just that. We reject it and we turn around. And I have this thing about turning around and walking back the other direction. If someone didn't know that you had already turned around and walked in the other direction, they may think you were walking in the right direction. They didn't see you turn around. And we convince ourselves, yeah, we're going in the right direction. Nobody saw me turn around. I'm not running from anything. The hell you are. Or the hell you aren't, depending on what situation you're in. Doesn't matter what other people think that you're doing. Another person can see you walk in a direction. That person has no idea whether you're walking forwards, backwards, your journey beginning, is it ending? And who gives a shit what they think? The most important common denominator in that situation, is that you know what you're doing. You know what you're going towards, and you know where you're going away from. So ultimately, it always goes back to what's in between our ears, our brains, our mind, our mindset. Challenge accepted or challenge rejected. Success or failure. Choice, consequence. Action, reaction. Balance. Actualization of a goal. One of the best things I've learned how to do is when I get something in my head and I know I can achieve it, I start figuring out immediately how I can obtain it. And I already tell myself ahead of time, it's okay if you fail. There's no shame, no guilt. None of that's involved. No resentment for myself, no shaming myself about something that I attempted to do and I failed at it. Because in that moment, I told myself I could do it. Therefore, I took action. When I see an obstacle, I accept the challenge. I don't reject it. Because I know whatever it is I'm about to do, even if I fail, I gained. I gained knowledge, experience. I got to do something I never done before. I got to experience something I never done before. I'm meeting people I've never would have met if I hadn't accepted the challenge. You have to accept these challenges and not reject them just because you're afraid. Now, I used to tell myself that all the time. And it always takes a while to get over that hurdle. But once you realize the benefits of accepting challenges, and I know there are people out there who say, why accept a challenge? A challenge is struggle. I call bullshit on that. Challenges are not struggles. The only struggle is the struggle in your mind about that challenge. And to each his own. If you don't want to accept a challenge, no one's saying that rejecting a challenge is wrong. I always say you just forfeit your right to complain about what you don't have when you don't accept challenges. And those challenges do not equal struggle. They equal whatever you deem is the outcome. If we say the outcome is negative, even through a positive situation, it is what we tell our brains it is. You ever see a couple, best couple in the world? These two people get along, they're best friends, they've been married for 40 years. And all of a sudden, one of them just says, you know, I'm done. And people look at him like, wow, you're going to leave him after all this time? Why? You're going to leave her after all this time? Why? It's so positive. What are you doing? It's that person's right to say, well, although it was positive to you and has been pretty much positive to me, there's one thing that happened that I can't get over and I can't deal with any longer, and I'm leaving. If that person has convinced himself that that situation is negative in any way, shape, or form, that is that individual's right to believe that. And again, it always goes back to the common denominator and all this that we see around us and all we endure and everything that we face every single day is always going to be us. You, yourself. The common denominator is ourselves. So whatever we tell ourselves is positive or negative, despite what the situation actually is, that is what your brain is going to interpret to be the truth. That's what your heart's going to interpret to be the truth, your soul and your body. And that will be your truth. It will be your reality. Perspective is huge when it comes to things like actualization, because what is the goal? What is the goal and what can we really truly accomplish? And not have it be something that is surface level. Really accomplish something great. Really go out and do something and set a goal and not only get there, but exceed it by leaps and bounds. I use the word ascend a lot because I believe ascending is going beyond what you even thought you were capable of and keep going. Not just stop. There is no end. Why stop when you reach a threshold? And now there's the dichotomy there. Some people say, well, you reach the threshold. You've already done all the work. Anything past that would just simply be unnecessary struggle, an unnecessary challenge. And I say, or you're leaving something on the table because you haven't reached your full potential. Well, isn't that greedy? Isn't that selfish? What about the people around you? Who says that going past the threshold and actualizing something that is beyond what you thought you can do and what others thought you can do, how is that struggle? How is that a negative situation? How is that truly a challenge? What you're saying is, I believe there's more. And there's always more. You can take every vacation in your lifetime on this planet, and there's always going to be some place yet to explore, someplace you haven't been. It's just the reality of it. The real question is, when we are living these lives that we have, and they're each individuals, and I'm speaking about true actualization for an individual here. We do have consequences of our actions, even though we believe they're positive, that affect other people. And that is the whole other level where we can think on a surface level on ourselves, for ourselves, about what we want out of life. And then there's these other levels where we have family, we have obligations and priorities, and our actions affect those things. We all know that. We've talked about that a lot in the Brave Never Fall. But what we haven't talked about is what you truly can affect in life positively, and thinking broader, bigger picture. Bigger picture. The feeling of accomplishing something that you never thought you can accomplish for yourself, that's one trophy, so to speak. But when that's linked to the success and the salvation and the prosperity of others because of your actions, and you not being the weak link in the chain in life and in your family and in your purpose, that's not a trophy. That's an invaluable gift. And truly, those things is what life really is about. Our impact, not only on ourselves, but the people that rely on us, the people who look up to us, the people who accept us as leaders and expect us to lead, the people who see us, and when we say we need to meet a goal, they already know we can do it. And for us to fail them by not even attempting it, by rejecting the challenge instead of accepting the challenge, you have failed without even attempting to try. And I really do believe, Master Yoda said it best. There is no try. There's only, we only do. Do or do not. There is no try. I believe that's a powerful statement. It's a powerful quote, because doing doesn't mean always succeeding. It just means go do it. Enough with the excuses. Break the if there's any chain or link, break that chain or link that is connected to hesitation, assumption, failure, lack of confidence. Those are the things that are going to tether you to things that have no business being in your mind, in your heart, in your body, your soul. Those are things you are bigger than. And the people around you who believe in you and trust you and know what you can do, they know that you're broader than that. And you are. We all are. What do you see in your mind that is actually going to be something you can accomplish? That is the real question. What do we see in our minds that we know we can make a reality? What do we feel in our bodies, in our hearts, that we know is driving us to do more and be more? And are we accepting these things, or are we rejecting them? Who are we letting down by not stepping up to the plate, by not accepting the challenge, by not going down the path of more resistance and accepting the path of least resistance, because that path offers up the least amount of failures that we might endure and encounter. That's not being brave. That is not being brave. That is not being bold. That is not being a leader. It is not reckless. It is not a struggle. It is not a challenge to do the things you know you can do. And if other people believe you can do something, especially when, again, let's go back to that goal everybody sets on January 1st. We set the goal. Everyone knows we can do it. And guess who we fail first and foremost? Ourselves. Everyone else is so expecting us. Hey, not that it matters what other people think. It is what it is. But we know, again, that common denominator. We can pretend we're cool but not reaching our goals. And they'll support us in that if they really love us. Problem is, we know we didn't reach our goals. And we're not okay with it. Actualization is one of the bravest things you can do in your life. It forces you to push beyond that shell you've wrapped around yourself when you were in a lifestyle of lack of confidence, when failure seemed to build up more than success. But that's normal. That's what everyone does. And we live in a world now where people tell you if you fail one time, you suck. I'm a big MMA fan. And one of the things I gravitated towards with MMA, coming off being a tremendously, and still am, just huge boxing fan. I am a boxing historian. I used to box myself. And one of the things that I love about boxing, especially when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, it was that all those guys in all those great divisions, the welterweight division, the middleweight division, the heavyweight division, they all fought each other. The best fought the best. And it was okay to lose because you were losing to the best. You win until you get up to the best, and you give the best effort possible. You accept the challenge. Win or lose, those fighters are respected. In MMA, it's the same way. The difference is they get even more of a pass because in the UFC, you either are a contender or a champion. There's no in between. You're either a contender or a champion. And that makes everyone, every match, every bout, there's an added sense of bravery and boldness there because you see every single fight, every single match that they're working towards something. And if they don't get there, they're going to be going backwards. But it's okay, because you're fighting the best. But now in boxing, coming up in the 2000s and the early 2000s, I should say the late 90s and early 2000s, Floyd Mayweather is beating everyone as he's Floyd Mayweather. But he made it almost impossible for future fighters to have a loss on their record. Fighters like Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins and Fernando Vargas, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, all these fighters. You lose, you're a bust. Something's wrong. You lose one fight and you lose millions of dollars in advertising and marketing and promotions. But in UFC, people lose all the time because you're fighting the best. And in boxing, is no longer the case. They don't want you to lose that one match because you're not fighting the best anymore. The best aren't fighting the best anymore. And that's why boxing has gone down a tremendous cliff. It's about accepting challenges. It's about being the best. It's about being around the best, who you surround yourself with. Who are the people that follow you? Those people don't define you, but they do give an outlook on who you are from the outside looking in. As leaders, and if you're listening to this, you are a leader because leaders grow. Leaders want to find materials to grow. They want to continue growing. So if you're listening to this, you are a leader. Who follows you and why? Where are you leading them? Growth and change is also about moving forward and accepting it. Growth and change is all about a metamorphosis. It's all about living up to potential, but going beyond that. Not accepting that this is just enough. And those who do that, that is all right. That is, I take my hat off to anyone who says, this is where I am. This is where I know I should be, and I'm happy with it. I'm content with being comfortable where I'm at. I applaud that. I salute that, because that is everyone's right to do what they want to do in their lives. But if you are listening to this, I believe you want more. Just like I did. I created the Brave Never Fall for people who want just a little bit more, and it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with being famous and being someone who is just looking down upon people. That's not what the Brave Never Fall is about. It's about squeezing every single little inch of potential out of you in a positive way, for you to build upon a foundation that is built on good morals, values, and principles, for you to get what you know you can, to not take shortcuts, to not turn around and go the opposite direction, to not look at a mountain and say, I can't do that, and I certainly can't face the volcano beyond the mountain. For you not to become a utopian tree sitting on the middle of nowhere, beautiful and content, but going nowhere, waiting only to be cut down or destroyed or to die alone. Actualization is about making an impact. It's about being a leader. It's about making goals and ascending beyond them. It's about not accepting just surface level versions of yourself. And that goes with any role, any title, any position you have in life. If you are a mother or a father, you can always be a better mother or father. If you're a teacher, you can always be a better teacher. If you're in a relationship, you can always be a better spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend. We always can be better at every single thing we take for granted that we do each and every day. And the ones who are following behind us, the ones who look up to us and expect us to teach them and lead them to where they need to be, just as we expected it from the people who led us when we were younger. That is our obligation. I say it all the time. You have to find your purpose. But there is a very base level purpose that everyone shares. That every person shares. The purpose of life is to find your purpose and excel at it. If you don't know what it is, that's your purpose. Find it. Do whatever it takes to find out what you really should be doing in life. And we can always tell. There's always somebody you'll talk to that you can say, this person is trying to figure it out. This person over here is content. This person over here is on the threshold. We're all in different segments and we're all in different paths in our journey. We could be walking side by side with someone and that person could be light years ahead of us or behind us, so to speak. So it's not about other people, it's about us, but it's our impact on what we do with other people and how we lead and how we follow. Because again, there's always someone ahead of us. Every teacher has a teacher. And every teacher teaches. Every influencer has an influencer. And every influencer influences. And that's what we're doing now, whether we like it or not. So how do we want people to learn from us? Do we want people to learn from us that running and rejecting is better than standing and facing and accepting? That pressing the reject button on answering the call to who you really are and what you really want to do is a better option than answering the call, picking up and taking the orders and saying, I'm going to do this time. I'm going to do this time. I'm not going to try to do it. I'm going to do it. And every excuse that I get goes in the trash right now. It's flushed down the toilet right now. I will not accept another excuse in my life. Those are the things we have to say to ourselves to really actualize the way we want. And that word actualization can be one of those terms people hate to hear, because a lot of people are like, what does that mean? Let's not play games with it. It means what you want it to mean. What does your gut tell you actualization means? And are you an actualizer? What does your gut tell you? Do you trust yourself enough to be able to actualize in your mind and be able to execute it and create it in real time? Again, the genesis of creation starts in our minds. We have to get what's out of our minds and our hearts and our souls out into the real world. When somebody says, I'm thinking about doing this tomorrow, let's see, you're going to do it or not? Yes or no? It really isn't that hard. You don't have to think so hard about these things. We overcomplicate the process of things that we create for ourselves. No one says we have to do A, B, or C. And then we get complacent about things that we are in control of. I think I'm going to do this tomorrow. I think I may do that. We are a victim of that. I do that. Everybody does that. Why not know what you're going to do tomorrow and what you're not going to do? You say, well, unforeseen circumstances may come up. That doesn't mean you can't say you're still doing it tomorrow. When unforeseen circumstances come up, we react, we adapt, we evolve, and we work around them. But the goal is still there. And if we don't reach it, then we're still closer than if we would have said, no, we're not going to do it at all. That's the power in actualization. Acting. Being aggressive, being proactive, not standing back and waiting for things to happen, not sitting back always waiting to answer the call, but maybe we should be getting up and making that call. Not thinking so much, but knowing what we're going to do. Assertive, aggressive assertiveness towards things that you claim and I claim and we all claim we want. Otherwise, you're forfeiting all that to excuses and failure, and you won't be content. You will not be comfortable. The people who are comfortable and content, they're not trying to go out and get things that they feel they don't want or don't need. They're doing exactly what they want to do, and I salute them for that. But those who are always out wanting more, complaining, saying they don't have enough, they need help, they need to do this, I got this goal, I got that goal. Maybe not so much talking, maybe not so much thinking, but more doing and more action and more accepting of those challenges. Because again, the people who we are leading are watching us. They're learning from us. So what are we teaching them? How are we leading the masses in our lives? Are our decisions and our actions and our path going in the right direction? Or are we turned around going in the wrong direction? Everyone thinks we're going in the right direction. We have a duty. We have to answer the call each and every day. But there's always another level. There's surface level, then there's another level. We have to keep ascending to the next level. Those who want that ascension, that's what we should be doing. And those who are content to stay where they are, that's what you should be doing. But if those people look up, there is more if they want it. There's always more. You don't have to do it, but there is more if you want it. And we all know that. How bad do you want it? What's the priorities? What's our purpose? If all of the answers to those questions is I don't know, then you are lost. We are lost. And that doesn't mean there's no time to turn things around. That just means we know where we're at. And the time to turn things around is right now. Accept the challenge or reject it. It really is just that simple. Pledge with me. I am the strongest person I know. I am alive for a reason. I pledge to stand on my values. I pledge to set and reinforce healthy boundaries. I pledge to keep pushing forward. I am not a victim. I am not without purpose. I pledge to continue to create the life I want. I pledge to grow beyond my current self. I pledge to commit to myself unconditionally because I am the strongest person I know. I will always be the strongest person I know. I pledge to continue to create and, if need be, recreate the blueprint of my life. I pledge to accept and face any challenge and obstacle that comes my way because I am the strongest person I know. I pledge I will remain who I am here and now and going forward because I am the strongest person I know. This is your day. You are here now. These are your moments. You own them. You are brave, bold, powerful. You do believe in yourself. You know you have more in the tank. You know the glass is half full. There's still more room for improvement. There is no end. Believe, believe, believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust that you can do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever you want from life. You don't procrastinate. You don't embellish. You don't lie. You are true to yourself always. Knowledge is in your mind. Peace is in your heart. Balance is in your body. Purpose is in your soul. You are greatness. The sky is not the limit. You have purpose, fulfilling, intentful purpose. You are here for a reason. You are unique. You are self-love, self-discipline, self-respect, self-control. You have self-awareness. You are joy, peace, and happiness. You are freedom, and yet connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up.